Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Junk Food and You. This is the show where I sort of just talk about random things that come to my mind, snacking sort of things that come to my mind. And today I'm going to talk about the fact that I actually don't review everything I eat. I kind of, every once in a while, I flip-flop between wanting to do that and sort of not wanting to do that. But there are certain treats, there are certain times where I will eat a treat and I won't review it. The sort of number one reason is I'm not really prepared for the review. So I don't know if you know this, but writing a candy review site is actually kind of challenging because I have to like unpackage things, I have to photograph it, I have to sort of figure out where it's made and everything like that. Like there's a lot to actually each review. And then I sort of ponder it. I try and write the reviews relatively close to when I ate them. Often the same day. Sometimes, depending on the treat, I'll actually eat a bit while I'm writing the review. It really depends on the situation, but for the most part, sometimes it's impossible. Like I will be, hanging out with some friends at a friend's place. They'll hand me a candy bar. You should try this right now. And I'll be like, well, okay, I'll try it right now. I'll eat it. And they're like, are you going to review it? And it's like, well, no, because the package is kind of ruined, so it's not going to make a good photograph. This isn't really the perfect environment. Maybe I just ate dinner, or, whatever reason. So I don't review everything. Like that's the number one reason. Other times, sometimes I just don't feel like reviewing it. Sometimes I'll be like out and about, just doing other things, living life, and I'll say to myself, maybe I'll get a candy bar, I'll get a treat, and I'll be like, oh, this is pretty good. I might go back and review that, and it's the same thing with like if a friend gives me something, is I might go back if I really liked it or really didn't like it or thought it was interesting. I might try and find it again, and then I'll review that one. But sometimes I just eat stuff and that's it. It's over with. A lot of baked goods are like that. Like I enjoy going to bakeries and just having a little treat. I won't necessarily review it. So that's like the main reason. I mean, there are like countless other reasons why I might not do it. Sometimes free samples, I'm a little bit off on reviewing those. It depends on like, if they send them for me to personally review, I'll do it. But if I'm like at a grocery store, like at Costco, and they hand me a sample, I'm probably not gonna review that. I don't know why I don't review that, but I just don't feel I just don't. Generally, I just try the sample right there. So it's there is this sort of conception that like, well, first of all, there's this idea that all I do is eat candy and that's it, and it's an awesome thing. But there's so much to writing a review where there's like each step where it's like photographing it, editing that photograph. I have to make sure I have the package sort of with me when I'm reviewing because I want to know like where it's made, or sometimes there's clues. Sometimes there's no English on the package and I have to like run it through Translate software to try and figure out what it's called or what's in it and how to eat it maybe, which, there's all these complicated things. So there's many occasions where I'm not eating stuff. There is also the times when I just don't want to. And sometimes I'll even buy something that I've actually eaten before. So one of the sort of, it's only a semi-lie, but people say, how do you do this? How do you go through so much candy and everything like that? And I will often say, well, you don't eat the same thing twice. That is a lie. There are things that I've eaten twice that I enjoy. They're not necessarily even the best things on here. Like a Kit Kat bar is definitely one thing that I will eat and enjoy and is one of the top things on here. But like, I love Twix bars. I love salt and vinegar chips. They're like these comfort foods for me that I absolutely adore. And I will definitely eat those and not review them just because I wanted a snack. From Arlo the Armadillo to Zach the Zebra. From almond covered chocolate to Zoot Drops. Pick up the fun alphabet book, Treats and Beasts, featuring beasts and the treats they love. Available on Amazon or at candycritic.org. It happens less and less, and I tend to find actually if I'm slipping down and starting to gain a lot of weight, then I tend to sort of decide that maybe I am eating too many things and not reviewing them. I sometimes actually use reviewing as a bit of a maybe try and be healthier thing. Like I'm not going to eat any snacks unless I review them because I know the difficulty that it takes for me to review them and the thought I have to do to review them. It's funny because sometimes even reviewing a thing gives me a little bit of anxiety because I know I have to think about it, particularly if I only have a limited number of that treat. And I'll actually stall. I actually have a few things waiting right now for a review, which I'll put some up here, some graphics. But I'll stall reviewing things because I'm sort of like, I'm kind of nervous about reviewing this. I'm not sure how to review this. That's actually why I created this segment too. Chris, how do you review that? Or how do you eat that? And that's part of the reason why that exists is because I've had treats that have sat in my cupboard and I'm like, I don't even know where to start with this treat. And I'll sort of pass it by. And I have on occasion been so confused with the treat that I'm just like, I can't review this because I'm not sure if I'm even eating this right. And particularly if it tastes kind of weird and I feel like there's a part that I'm missing. Occasionally, yeah, like one time I got a package of this little package that said like chocolate tasty or something. I thought, oh, I'll pick this up and review it. And then sort of about a week or two after getting it, I realized that it wasn't even a candy, and it was just like a little thing of Nutella of a different brand. So it can kind of happen that way. So there's lots of reasons I don't review treats. That's sort of some of them. But you know, it's like I try and review as much as I can. But you know, the other thing too is I have a huge list. Like if I stopped eating candy right now, I have a year or more without ever writing another review that I could fill on candycritic.org. So there is a lineup that goes in there. So, you know, sometimes too, I look at that lineup and go, you know, it doesn't really need much more. So I guess so. So yeah, bunch of reasons. And you know what? I've even had a couple times where I've looked at something and I don't really want to eat that. You know, just doesn't sound like good or what I want to eat right now. And I'll pass it by. That's rare, but it has happened. So, well, thanks for watching this another episode of this isn't a Chris, this is Junk Food and You, where I talked about treats that I don't review, which I do eat. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Thanks for watching. And if you want to follow me on social media, you can go to candycritic.org to find links to everything from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or whatever. You can also read well over 1,000 candy reviews, with new ones coming all the time. Candycritic.org also has links to pick up my latest books, as well as some cool candy-themed merchandise.